Here's a new update, folks, on Ananta. It turns out Ananta seek permission from Insomniac. They didn't steal it. Insomniac says, well, go for it. Here, let me show you.
Hey Insomniac, can I copy your homework looking game? How do these gotcha games get away with straight up ripping off Spider-Man?
My dude, if Sony actually had a problem with this game, then why would they show it on their own fucking YouTube channel?
Now that's interesting, folks. I mean, think about that. I just reacted to the trailer. If Ananta was copying Spider-Man, why did it showcase on in this case, the PlayStation channel? Wait a minute, Light of Mortirum. See if Light of Mortirum has, what, they took it down? Why would they release it? That's the thing. Ask yourself that.
It's well known that the game journalists like to crap on anything that doesn't fit into their exclusive club of Western and Japanese studios, most likely because they don't get the same level of access to some of these Chinese and Korean developers that they're used to. The other day, I showed you this article here from the site The Gamer,
That's true.
smearing Ananta, but there are a ton of others. Here's Polygon crapping all over the game.
Polygon,
Here is the Gaming Bible, attacking Ananta as being shameless. And you will notice that all of these complaints are based around the fact that the game's swinging traversal system bears more than a passing resemblance to Insomniac's Spider-Man. So, naturally, the Sony White Knight shills felt the need to swoop in to save Milady PlayStation.
Well, what is with this Milady stuff? What are you, a knight of the round table? Come on.
It's really funny, though, watching these people try to defend Insomniac's honor because Ananta's trailer was prominently showcased on PlayStation's own YouTube channel, and of course, PlayStation owns Insomniac.
Now, this is kind of thing that, well, if you make an argument on this, it goes out the window, for good. Now we're gonna skip a bit, okay?
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure that you check into that. And there's been a lot of talk about restricted mode being automatically enabled for a lot of users on YouTube, which would cut you off from a lot of your favorite channels. So don't forget to check into that as well, and turn it off if it's been turned on and you don't want it. But alright, let's take a look at this story about Ananta being smeared as a ripoff of Insomniac's Spider-Man. I said the other day, when talking about this game, that I was unfazed by these complaints because they didn't seem to be actionable, meaning that maybe Sony could sue them over the use of the animations, but they clearly have no intention of doing it for whatever reason. And if they aren't suing, then I fail to see how similar animation styles affect me in any way whatsoever.
Not quite. Sometimes, regardless whether you are copying or taking inspiration, the question is the game good? Can it be playable? Remember, this is open world. Some games right now that I don't know what engine Ananta is using, because most of the engines of Unreal Engine 5, come out broken. Again, this may be free to play, but I hope Project Mugen or maybe Ananta could hopefully fix the issues, because frankly, I haven't seen the system requirement. I hope I will be able to run this.
Grums talked about this on X. Nick Tech was one of the people whining about Ananta, showing some comparisons to Insomniac Spider-Man, and they wrote here,
Ananta is never beating these allegations of copying the Spider-Man 2 animations.
And Grums, who worked on the OG WoW team, he wrote in response to that, OG Blizzard was never original. Our formula was to take what works from other games and combine them, then add some unique flavoring on top just to sprinkle. It works. Ananta is just doing what Blizzard did. And as a gamer, I simply fail to see how this is supposed to be a bad thing for me.
Okay, that's a good way for me to pause it. I apologize for all these interruptions. Let's just say every creator has to deal with when they're small and they have limited funds at this point. Now, I wouldn't be affected. Again, like I said before, can the game be playable? Think about that. We've seen many games, doesn't matter where they come from, well, except for the AA and indie, okay? Many AAA games that uses Unreal Engine, aka the Unreal Engine 5, come out broken. Silent Hill F Silent Hill F was broken on launch. I know I played it. For 2 hours I get like what, 30 FPS at best? And this is on medium setting, okay? I toned out all of it to medium setting.
But if, for whatever reason, you still have some kind of moral crusade against this sort of thing, allow me to show you why it appears as though these animations were basically gifted to the Ananta devs from Sony. Permaband, over on X, posted this in response to another one of the professional critics, aka corporate shills. In fact, they were responding to this tweet here where Synth Potato wrote,
Hey Insomniac, can I copy your homework looking game? How do these gotcha games get away with straight up ripping off Spider-Man? Not saying swinging mechanics shouldn't be done, but these are literally the Spider-Man 2 animations.
Anyhow, Permaband responded to this, saying, to answer your question in the second paragraph, number 1, Ananta is heavily advertised and marketed by Sony, and as evidence of this, once again, look at this here. The trailer for Ananta was shown on the fricking PlayStation YouTube channel. I promise you that before anything is ever shown on a big corporate channel like that, they will have armies of people at Sony looking over the trailer to make sure there isn't something offensive or legally compromising or anything like that. Sony definitely would have noticed that the animations in Ananta are basically the same as what you see in Spider-Man because, as Permaband points out in point number 2, Sony owns Insomniac Games. They are technically Sony animations, and even if somehow it escaped their notice that these animations of theirs were the same that were being used in Ananta when reviewing the video, they definitely would have heard rumblings by now from gamers as we discussed this topic.
Oh, and also don't forget Insomniac has other priorities. They also have to face the Marvel's Wolverine because frankly, Marvel's Wolverine is their last chance. We all know Sweet Baby Inc. is still there, and if they go on with this lawsuit, combined with the Sweet Baby Stink and also the Charlie Kirk situation, I don't think Insomniac's gonna do anything, because they knew the lawsuit's gonna cost them dearly. Taking inspiration and copying is two different things, okay? Remember, you are actually taking inspiration from other games and putting it into your games and doing something different. Sony PlayStation, they copy virtually anybody.
They definitely would have taken the trailer down if they had a problem with it. But that brings us to point number 3. NetEase published Ananta and is also partnered with Marvel and produces arguably the most popular Marvel game of recent years. So Marvel will have likely been on board with this too, since NetEase has made them a shitload of money with Marvel rivals. And then that brings us to point number 4. NetEase and Sony had a high-profile partnership back in 2021. Likely their partnership roles have expanded over the years, so if there really was a problem, Sony would be the one to sue. Evidently, Sony is not just fine with it, but supportive of it. Sony likely gave NetEase their explicit permission to use the Spider-Man mechanics, probably even asked some Insomniac devs to help with the implementation. You can have your opinion on how one-to-one it looks, and I agree, but it's a nothing burger. The parties involved, based on available facts, likely consented to it. And to be honest, this whole situation reminds me of one of the awfuls, an affluent white female liberal, getting all butthurt when they see someone doing the so-called cultural appropriation of, like, Native American culture or something like that. This whole situation is basically the game journalists and professional critics getting all offended on behalf of their buddies at Insomniac. They are clearly looking for a pat on the head from their corporate masters. You will notice that there aren't too many normal people who are getting upset about this. Sure, loads of people noticed the similarities, but their response was basically the same as mine, which was essentially to just shrug my shoulders and say, who gives a shit? But
Yep.
to top it off, we have a bit of confirmation here that Sony and Insomniac did give permission to NetEase to use Spider-Man animation. This post on X is from a person who has been attending the Tokyo Game Show this weekend. Here is another post this person made showing a photo from the Tokyo Game Show, suggesting that they are indeed at the event, and here is another post from this person showing the same thing. But this is the post where they offer some confirmation that this Ananta controversy is a nothing burger. This guy wrote in response to the permabanned tweet, "Can confirm, today I asked the Ananta devs about this at Tokyo Game Show about possible conflicts with Spider-Man plagiarism complaints. They told me there's no issue for similar reasons."
Wow, looks like the game journalist argument has been kaput. And now, I'm getting excited. Now, I did heard this game is free to play. You know how it is, NetEase. Hopefully they'll have characters to be unlocked for free. Although skins is another thing. We have to either grind it or buy it. That's just how it is. Again, like I said, I apologize for any interruptions. I will cut it out if I can. So, video game journalists, wow, you are such an idiot. And this is the reason why gamers don't trust video game journalists anymore. Ghost of Yote just released their reviews, and the critics gave everything. They give Ghost of Yote a high score, IGN an 8. Other outlets, some of them gave it a 10. Not knowing about the controversy, or in this case the platform, because I overheard they say that the shills are trying to rally to it because they're trying to drown out the Charlie Kirk situation. Yes, the death of Charlie Kirk, which still ongoing. And even with the PC port, which I think if they speed up the PC port of Ghost of Yote, yeah, it's not gonna save them either. Ghost of Yote isn't successful on the PS5. They had to rush it to the PC port, but even with the PC port, it won't help them. It will not help.
礼を言う。助かったぞ。
危ねえ。一応礼は言う。ありがとう。